because veterans don't need to be treated as if they're incapable of making their own decisions. Our nation's veterans are not inherently vulnerable or incompetent. I want to take a few minutes today to explain exactly what Veterans Creed is, what we do, what we don't do, and why I believe that veterans deserve real choice in how they navigate the VA disability claims process. Because if you've been paying attention, there's a lot of noise in this space. There are VSOs, there are VA representatives, you've got accredited agents and attorneys, education and empowerment organizations like Veterans Creed, and there are even some bad actors. But those are not all the same thing, and they absolutely shouldn't be treated as if they are. At Veterans Creed, we are a for-profit organization. We do charge fees for our services, but we don't charge veterans for representation before the VA. In fact, we don't represent veterans before the VA. We don't submit claims for veterans. We don't complete forms or write scripts or statements for veterans. We do not prepare, present, or prosecute claims on a veteran's behalf because that's not our lane. That's not our expertise. That's not our zone. And we work very, very hard to make that clear. So, Jen, what do you guys do? Okay, the simplest way I can explain it is this. Think of Veterans Creed or your Veterans Creed Claims Navigator as a personal trainer for the VA claims process. Now, a personal trainer doesn't lift the weight for you. They don't run the mile for you. They don't eat the right foods for you. That work still belongs to you, but a good personal trainer educates you. They're right next to you as you're doing the work. So if you need a reset, if you need accountability, they're right there. They help you understand what you're doing and why. They help you to recognize where you may be stuck. They hold you accountable and they support you when the process gets frustrating, and it does. They help you to become more knowledgeable, confident, and competent, and better equipped to keep moving forward. That's what we do for veterans who choose to maintain control of their own VA disability claims. Some veterans come to us and have never filed a claim, whether it's been 40 years since they served or 4. They just don't know where to begin. Some are already service-connected, but they feel underrated or overlooked or stuck. Some have received a denial recently and have absolutely no idea what the VA is trying to tell them. And if you've ever read a VA decision letter, you know that VA speak feels like it's its own language. Veterans come to us at different stages with different experiences, different medical histories, different service histories, and overall different goals. There's not a one-size-fits-all veteran, and there's no one-size-fits-all VA claim. Our role is to meet veterans where they are. Our one-on-one Empower program is designed for the veteran who wants education, support, accountability, and consistent, timely communication throughout their process. One veteran gets one consistent point of contact, one relationship throughout the whole journey. And I think that matters significantly. That's because the veteran shouldn't have to explain their entire history to a different person every time they reach out. They should not have to wonder who all knows my situation. They shouldn't have to wait until the next scheduled appointment to ask a simple question that is keeping them up at night. Our veterans communicate with us through email, text, phone calls, and they share their concerns. They're asking questions, talking through updates, working through confusion, and we get to celebrate their victories in real time. We don't do the work for our veterans, okay? We're educating them and empowering them so that they can better understand the work that they're doing. We support them while they remain in control. We hold them accountable when the process gets long and frustrating and daunting. And sometimes, yes, we have to fuel their tenacity and remind them why they got into the fight in the first place. But the veteran remains in control of the claim, always. And I want to be equally clear about something else. Not every veteran wants this type of service. And that's okay. That's absolutely the veteran's choice. Some veterans don't want to learn the claim process. They don't want to remain hands-on. They want someone who is authorized and educated to represent them, to prepare their claim or handle more of the process on their behalf. Respect that choice. When that is what a veteran wants or needs, we absolutely direct them toward the appropriate resources, which includes a VSO, VA representatives, accredited agents or attorneys. And those resources all have a very important, very vital place in this space. And so do competent education and empowerment organizations. Those roles, those lanes should not be blurred, but we also shouldn't be at war with one another. Because if everyone is operating ethically, competently, and with the veteran's best interest at heart, then we should all share one mission. And that's for every veteran in this fight to have a fair opportunity to pursue the benefits that they morally, ethically, and medically deserve. That's why Veterans Creed exists. Now, I'm not going to pretend that there are not serious problems in the VA claim space, because obviously, again, if you've been paying attention, you know that there are bad actors. There are individuals and organizations that do not respect the rules or the boundaries of their role. There are people giving advice who don't possess the knowledge, experience, or training necessary to do so competently. There are entities that do not accurately interpret or apply the 38 CFR and the M21-1. And there are people who believe that because they served our country or because they successfully navigated their own VA claim, they're automatically qualified to educate or represent other veterans. Personal experience can absolutely be valuable, but that's not the same thing as professional competency. Winning your own claim doesn't automatically mean that you understand how to evaluate another veteran's completely different medical history, service circumstances, evidence, procedural posture, or potential path forward. That distinction matters. But here's another truth. There are very good and very bad individuals and organizations in every corner of veteran advocacy. Being accredited doesn't automatically make somebody excellent. Being a VSO doesn't automatically make someone competent. Being a veteran doesn't automatically make someone qualified to advise other veterans. And being a fee-based education organization does not automatically make someone a claim shark. The title alone doesn't tell us whether a veteran is receiving competent ethical support. The conduct does. The training does. The experience does. The accuracy, the transparency tells you if you're working with somebody that's ethical and working within their boundaries, the willingness to stay within those clear, defined boundaries, and the commitment to put the veteran first. That shows. That's why I believe that the bigger conversation here should actually be about competency, transparency, oversight, accountability, and ethical business practices across the entire VA claims support space. Veterans deserve to know exactly who they're working with, what that person is qualified to do, what services exactly that they're providing, and what services are they not providing. What kind of training and expertise do they have? What do they charge? What are the boundaries of their role? Where does that begin and end? We need clearer standards. We need meaningful oversight. We need accountability for bad actors, unethical actors. We need better ways to verify that the people educating, advising, assisting, or representing veterans are actually competent to perform the role that they claim to perform. Because veterans don't need to be treated as if they're incapable of making their own decisions. Our nation's veterans are not inherently vulnerable or incompetent. They do not need the world to swoop in and protect them from having choices. They need accurate information. They need transparency. They need competent resources, and they need meaningful consumer protections. And then they deserve the right to choose. Some absolutely all day long will choose a VSO. Some will choose an accredited agent or attorney. Some will choose to navigate the process completely on their own, and some will choose one-on-one education, empowerment, accountability, and support through an organization like Veterans Creed. Okay, the answer is not to eliminate choice. The answer is to raise the standard, to hold every resource accountable to its proper lane, to require transparency, to promote competency, to enforce ethical conduct, and respect the veteran's right to decide how they want to approach their own claim. At Veterans Creed, our mission is not to take control away from the veteran. It's the exact opposite. We exist for veterans who want to understand the process, veterans who want to ask better questions, veterans who want to become more confident in their own decisions, veterans who want someone consistent and available in their corner, veterans who want support without surrendering control. We don't fight the veterans' fight for them. Let me say that again. We do not fight the veterans' fight for them. What we do at Veterans Creed is educate them. We empower them. We support them. We hold them accountable. And when the process gets, which it will, frustrating, confusing, or exhausting, we remind them that they're still in the fight. Veteran first, integrity always. It's not just something that we put on a shirt. It's not something that's just on the sign behind me. It is the standard that we intend to be held to. And it is the standard I believe every veteran deserves from every person and every organization operating in this space.